Hello everyone! In this vast world, there are hundreds of ethnic groups with their own unique cultural identities. But did you know that there is one people who have chosen a completely different path? They are the Eskimos, the true masters of the icy Arctic region. While most of us struggle with the cold when the temperature drops by just a few degrees, for the Eskimos, living and surviving in places where the temperature can drop to several dozen degrees below zero is just a normal part of everyday life. They have developed unique survival skills, from building warm igloos amidst snowstorms to hunting for survival in a place where food is incredibly scarce. Going back about 4,000 to 5,000 years, we would encounter the ancient Eskimo tribes living on the barren lands of Siberia. However, this land was too harsh and infertile. They were forced to cross the Bering Strait in search of a new homeland, and from there, their journey began. Throughout their harsh journey, some groups moved south to warmer lands, but most of them chose even more challenging northern regions. Alaska and North America became the new stopping point for the Eskimos, and later, a small number of them continued on to Greenland, a place covered in ice and snow year-round. The lands that the Eskimos chose to settle all share one common trait: extreme cold. But with resilience, they found ways to adapt and survive. The ice houses of the Eskimos. To survive the freezing cold, the Eskimos created one of their greatest masterpieces, the igloo, also known as the snow house. The tents are made from large, tightly packed blocks of ice, with half of the structure buried underground and the other half arching upwards like a dome. Though not tall, they are incredibly sturdy. This design helps maintain a stable internal temperature, warm enough to shield against the chilly winds outside. Amazingly, the temperature inside the ice house can rise to 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, warm enough for the Eskimos to live and carry out daily activities. Meanwhile, the walls are quite thin, only 5 to 10 centimeters thick. But the question arises, how do these houses not melt? In fact, when a small amount of ice melts, it is immediately refrozen due to the extremely cold outdoor temperatures, which can range from -40 to -20 degrees Celsius. Moreover, the hot air rises and escapes through the vent in the house, helping to maintain a stable temperature inside. Typically, an igloo can remain intact throughout the cold winter and only begins to melt when the warm spring arrives. This is truly a remarkable creation of nature and human ingenuity. In the Arctic, eating green vegetables, which we consider essential every day, becomes a luxury. For the Eskimos, the freezing weather makes farming almost impossible. This land doesn't allow any plants to grow, and naturally occurring vegetables are extremely rare. Instead of relying on agriculture, the Eskimos have to gather and forage for wild berries and roots from nature during the short summer months. They carefully store these precious vegetables to use throughout the long and harsh winter. However, vegetables are only a small part of the Eskimo diet. Their main food source comes from raw meat, a crucial source of nutrition that helps sustain energy and fend off the freezing cold. The Eskimos believe that the protein and fat from meat keep their bodies strong, enabling them to withstand temperatures that plunge far below zero. In this frozen land, marine animals such as seals, whales, cod, and salmon become the main food sources for the Eskimo people. Seals are considered the most important food, with their meat, fat, and skin providing everything necessary for survival in the harsh Arctic environment. During the brief summer, when the weather is more bearable, the Eskimo people do not solely rely on the sea. They hunt reindeer and geese, storing food for the long, harsh winter months. When winter returns, the hunts become even more intense. They hunt polar bears, foxes, and Arctic hares, animals native to the frozen land. For the Eskimo people, nothing goes to waste. The skin, fur, fat, and bones of the animals are all used to the fullest. The Eskimos, despite living among giant animals such as polar bears and whales, have rather small physiques. With an average height of only about 1.6 meters, they are not only small, but also very agile in their harsh environment. This small physique is not by chance. It helps them conserve energy and maintain body heat in the harsh, cold conditions. They have light brown skin, straight black hair, and broad faces with high cheekbones, features that not only contribute to their unique beauty, but also play an important role in resisting the cold. With just a fur coat, the Eskimos can survive in the coldest conditions, with temperatures dropping to several degrees below zero. But this is only for adults. For Eskimo children, surviving and growing up is a much greater challenge. These children go through tough years, their bodies covered in animal skins, leaving only their eyes exposed to observe the world around them. However, it is the harshness of nature that has shaped them into small but powerful warriors. Eskimo children rarely get sick, and even before they can run, they become familiar with the frozen ground, learning how to survive from their very first days. But what sets the Eskimos apart? The secret lies within them, in their unique genetic makeup. The Eskimos possess a gene that helps them metabolize fat more efficiently, allowing them to consume large amounts of seal fat without the fear of cardiovascular issues like heart attacks. This genetic variant evolved around 20,000 years ago, helping the Eskimos lower insulin levels and LDL cholesterol in their blood. This not only helps them maintain good health, but also supports their ability to retain body heat in the freezing environment. The custom of allowing the wife to sleep with a stranger. In Eskimo culture, particularly in some isolated communities in Siberia, when a stranger visits, the host often expresses hospitality not only with a generous meal, but also by allowing the guest to sleep with his wife. It is a way to show generosity and respect to. However, this act does not occur randomly. The husband must agree and give permission for his wife to participate in sleeping with the guest. Do you wonder why such a strange custom exists? To understand this, we need to go back to the harsh life of the Eskimos. With extremely cold and severe natural conditions, survival is a challenge. Eskimo women not only possess extraordinary strength, but also play a crucial role in ensuring the survival of the community. Due to the harsh environment, maintaining and growing the population is extremely difficult. Many children do not survive to adulthood because of the severe natural conditions. Therefore, the custom of sleeping with strangers helps increase fertility, and if a woman becomes pregnant after sleeping with a guest, it is considered a great joy for the entire community. For the Eskimos, relationships are not bound by the strict notions found in many other places. They believe that women, regardless of age, status, or appearance, deserve to be loved and respected by many. The concept of virginity does not exist in their culture. Instead, Eskimo women are seen as those who have not used men, rather than being judged on their purity, as in many other societies. Relationships between individuals in the Eskimo community are built on mutual respect and are not bound by rigid social norms. Women have the right to make decisions about their own lives, and sharing affection with multiple people is not considered wrong. Besides the custom of sleeping with strangers, Eskimo men also have the practice of temporarily lending their wives. When a man goes hunting with someone else, if that person needs help, he can rely on his hunting partner's wife. The woman not only takes on the role of homemaker during the trip, but also assists the other man with personal needs. This may seem strange to many people, but for the Eskimo community, it is a meaningful form of sharing. The husband feels proud when his wife can bring joy and help to others. This is not an act of infidelity, but rather an expression of mutual trust and respect in their harsh way of life. Today, many traditional customs of the Eskimo people have gradually faded, but there are still communities that preserve these practices. For them, it is a way to strengthen community bonds and maintain ancient cultural values. However, understanding and accepting these customs requires a deeper insight into their cultural and historical context. The custom of abandoning the elderly. For centuries, the Eskimos were rumored to have a cruel and gruesome custom. When the elderly in the community became a burden to their families, they would be placed on an ice floe and set adrift into the vast ocean, where they would face a cold and lonely death. The Eskimos were believed to think that by leaving the elderly on an ice floe, they would be guided to another world, free from pain and suffering. This was seen as a humane act, helping the elderly escape the burdens of life without being a bother to their families. However, that is only part of the story. Many cultural researchers and defenders argue that the practice of sending the elderly off on ice floes was not a common occurrence in Eskimo society. It may be nothing more than a myth or a misunderstanding originating from artistic and literary works about Native Americans, rather than from the reality of their lives. The life of the Eskimos is a testament to their strength and resilience in adapting to the harsh conditions of nature. From their unique cultural customs to a lifestyle based on mutual respect and community, the Eskimos have overcome challenges to survive and thrive in the frozen lands. Although many stories and myths surrounding them have sparked curiosity, in reality, the life of the Eskimos is a blend of tradition and survival, where humans and nature coexist in harmony.